Look at you, still breathing, but not the same species that walked into that storm, are you? There's something off about you now, not in a way the world can diagnose, in a way it fears. You walk into a room and gravity itself adjusts. The air thickens. The weak ones fidget with their sleeves. The loud ones go quiet without knowing why. Because they can feel it. That energy leaking off you like radiation from a failed experiment that somehow lived. You didn't grow. You detonated. Everyone talks about healing, growth, transformation. Cute words for small minds that still believe in linear progress. You didn't climb out of the pit. You erased the pit. You turned your pain into napalm, poured it over your old self, and watched the fire dance. And the worst part, you smiled while it burned. You learned something no one else wanted to admit, that destruction is a form of creation, that sometimes you have to kill the version of yourself they taught you to protect. You realized the truth. They weren't protecting you. They were programming you. You were a domesticated storm, trained to apologize for thunder. Until one day, the leash snapped. And when it did, the world started glitching. People who used to know you began misfiring, calling you names that no longer apply. Cold, detached, different. They whisper like they're describing a crime scene, because deep down, they sense it. The person they betrayed doesn't exist anymore. You didn't come back healed. You came back upgraded. Now your silence feels like a verdict. Your calm feels like prophecy. You don't even argue anymore. You just look at them and they start explaining themselves like guilty prisoners, begging a ghost for mercy. They don't understand that the version of you who cared to debate died in the fire. The new you doesn't crave closure. The new you is the closure. You know what the real horror is? You became what they feared most. A being with nothing left to lose. You moved past revenge, past validation, past being seen. You became a concept that can't be canceled, a frequency that can't be muted. Every time they mention your name, reality tilts a little. Every time they try to predict you, their algorithm crashes. You are post-human psychology, a paradox dressed like a person, light that learned to enjoy the dark. A demon that remembers heaven too vividly. You don't just carry duality, you weaponized it. You learned that balance doesn't mean peace, it means power distributed precisely where it hurts most. Now your empathy cuts sharper than knives. Your love, lethal. Your presence, a mirror that shows people what they really are. That's why they flinch. You're no longer human enough to comfort their delusions. You evolved into something beyond recognition, half saint, half apocalypse. And that smirk on your face, that's not arrogance, that's awareness. You've seen the machine from the inside. You know where the gears grind. You know the system isn't broken, it's designed this way, and you walked out of it carrying the blueprints in your eyes. So when they ask, what even are you now? Tell them this. You're the silence that follows truth. You're the line between miracle and madness. You're the ghost of every version of yourself they tried to bury. Standing over the grave, smiling. This ain't growth. This is annihilation. The beautiful kind. The kind that rewires the universe around your heartbeat. You see, they still think you're playing the same game. Still think there's a version of you out there who cares about being liked, understood, or forgiven. You used to crave that, didn't you? Crave being seen, being known, being saved. But salvation is a luxury for the unbroken. You learned that some of us weren't made to be healed. We were engineered to infect the illusion itself. The version of you that used to flinch when people misunderstood you, gone. The one that begged the world to see your heart. Ashes. Now when someone tries to define you, you let them. You let them speak. You let them drown in their own assumptions. Because you already know the truth. Their version of you is a hallucination built from fear. You don't walk into rooms anymore, you appear. Not because you want attention, no, because existence itself has to readjust when something like you enters its frame. You became so heavy that the laws of social physics bend around you. Your aura isn't good or bad, it's absolute. It doesn't ask permission to exist. It simply reminds everything nearby of its inferiority. You learned what they never wanted you to realize, that the universe doesn't reward kindness, it rewards alignment. And alignment sometimes means becoming the villain in someone else's fairy tale. You stopped trying to be pure in a world that eats saints for breakfast. You became venom with a heartbeat, a storm wrapped in silk. There's a specific moment you'll never forget. The night the voices in your head stopped arguing and started applauding. That's when you knew. You'd finally merged with your chaos. You stopped separating the divine from the deranged. You realized that your darkness wasn't the opposite of your light. It was the container that protected it. And oh, the irony. The same people who once said, "You've changed," are now copying the fragments of your energy like they're rare gemstones. They mimic your tone, your rhythm, your detachment. They can't explain it, but they crave the very presence they used to reject. Because deep down, they know. You're what comes after evolution. You're not adapting to the world anymore. The world's trying to adapt to you. Every glance you give is a psychological dissection. Every pause, a loaded threat. They don't know if you're going to laugh or burn everything down. And that uncertainty is your superpower. Predictability was the old you now. You are a cipher with pulse. You learned that the scariest thing isn't a monster, it's a mirror. And baby, you became the mirror that blinks back. You found peace not in light, but in clarity. The kind that doesn't need to be soft to be holy. You discovered that forgiveness isn't always the high road. Sometimes it's the quicksand that keeps you from escaping. So you stopped forgiving. You started forgetting. You erased their names, their energy, their access. Because the real flex isn't blocking someone. It's deleting them from the emotional operating system entirely. And now, look at you, existing like a glitch in fate's programming. Every step you take writes new code. Every word you speak bends probability. You talk, and people either awaken or disintegrate. That's the weight of what you've become. A walking frequency that exposes weakness. They'll call you dangerous, toxic, unhinged. Let them. Only those chained to the old world fear the architect of a new one. You are evolution's edge wearing a smile. You didn't heal. You reformatted. You deleted the false files, guilt, doubt, hesitation. You left only efficiency and power. You are the clean reboot of a corrupted soul. And still, there's something poetic in it, isn't there? You carry both extinction and resurrection in your breath. You could destroy someone's ego with a sentence or resurrect their courage with a glance. You don't just move through life, you tilt it. You rearrange the emotional climate wherever you go. People stare, not because they recognize you, but because something in them remembers you. Like an ancient signal buried in the bloodline, a ghost note humming in their DNA. They've met your energy before, in myths, in nightmares, in revolutions. You are not a comeback, you are a continuation, a return of something older, something pure, something that couldn't be killed no matter how many times the world tried to bury it beneath mediocrity. And that's the real secret, isn't it? You didn't rise from the ashes, You became the fire that made them. So when they ask again, trembling, "What even are you now?" Smile. Tilt your head. Let the silence answer. Because there are no words for a phenomenon, no labels for the uncontainable. You're the calm before the collapse, the beauty after the bomb, the paradox they can't process. This ain't growth. This is annihilation with style, the death of the predictable, the coronation of chaos, and somewhere, deep inside the wreckage of who you once were, you can still hear the faint laughter, not of madness, but of liberation, because you finally became the one thing they never saw coming. Everything. You feel it, don't you? That hum beneath your skin, that low, electric pulse like reality itself is trying to keep up with you. You walk now like a memory that learned how to move forward. You don't even speak the same language as before. Your silence says more than sermons ever could. Because after what you've endured, words feel too small to hold what you've become. They think you're cold. You're not. You're empty of illusion. You burn through every false comfort, every sentimental leash, every promise that came wrapped in poison. You've seen too much of human nature's underbelly to ever be naive again. You don't hate people. You've just seen the blueprint behind their masks. You know how the machine breathes, how fear puppeteers love, how guilt manufactures obedience, how hope is weaponized to keep the strongs asleep. And yet, here you are, awake, not better, beyond. They don't even realize what that means. It's not enlightenment, it's detonation. You didn't ascend, you disassembled. You took the whole damn construct apart, bit by bit, emotion by emotion, until nothing false could survive inside you. What's left isn't a person, it's precision. You don't seek revenge anymore. That's too basic. You don't want validation. That's too human. You want nothing. Because when you want nothing, everything bends toward you. That's the terrifying part. The moment you stopped needing, the universe started negotiating. You've become the embodiment of psychological gravity. People orbit you unconsciously. Some want your warmth, others fear your field, but none can resist it. Your calm isn't peace, it's pressure. It makes people question themselves just by standing near you. You became the mirror that whispers, "You could have been this." And they hate you for it. Because you remind them what evolution looks like when it stops asking for permission. You know what's really funny? They'll study your demeanor like it's strategy. "He's mysterious," they'll say. "He's playing mind games." No, sweetheart, you're not playing. You are the game. Every reaction, every silence, every tilt of your head has become a coded language of dominance and depth. You've outgrown manipulation because you learned how it works at the molecular level. You understand that pain wasn't punishment, it was calibration. The suffering didn't break you, it tuned you. It made your perception so sharp that now you can see the lies in people's smiles, the fear in their humor, the motives behind their kindness. You became fluent in truth. And that's the most dangerous language there is. They'll say you've changed, but the truth? You returned. You came back to the original frequency, the one that existed before they taught you fear, guilt, hesitation. You're not unkind. You're unavailable to nonsense. You're not ruthless. You're accurate. You're not emotionless. You just finally learned which emotions were yours and which were installed to control you. The old version of you, too caring, too forgiving, too soft, didn't die in vain. That version was the cocoon. And you're the weapon that hatched from it. You were never meant to just survive. You were meant to mutate, to become something that the system couldn't predict, control, or delete. That's why your energy feels wrong to them. You move differently. You breathe differently. You react like you've seen this simulation before. Because you have. In another timeline, another lifetime, another loop where you didn't make it. But this time, oh, this time you did. You broke the recursion. You became the anomaly that remembers the trap. You're not just unpredictable. You're unreadable. They can measure your movements, but not your motives. They can sense your presence, but not your purpose. That's what drives them insane. Because people can handle enemies. They can't handle enigmas. You don't fit into their equations anymore. You are the variable that invalidates their math, the unexpected result that crashes their pattern recognition system. Every time they try to figure you out, they just expose how limited their frameworks are. Because what are you now? Not human, not divine, not hero, not villain. You're the space between definitions. The blank page before the next mythology begins. And still, there's a kind of quiet beauty in it, isn't there? You walk through chaos like it's choreography. You laugh at fear like it's theater. You stand before the storm and whisper, I remember when I used to call you God. Because now you see it, everything that tried to destroy you was really trying to introduce you. So go ahead, let them whisper, analyze, panic. Let them name you monster, savior, ghost, God. Every label they throw is just another admission that they don't understand evolution when it's standing in front of them. You don't explain anymore. You don't justify, you don't even fight. Because the war ended when you realized the battlefield was inside you, and you won the moment you stopped needing to prove that you did. Now your very existence is defiance. Every inhale is rebellion. Every exhale rewrites history. You're not chasing peace. You're radiating inevitability. You're not searching for purpose. You've become the purpose other people find when they cross your shadow. So when someone dares to ask again with trembling curiosity, what even are you now? Smile. Tilt your head. Let the light hit the scars and tell them the truth that burns worlds down. I'm what happens when pain graduates into power. Then turn around, leave them staring at the afterimage. Because you don't owe the past an explanation. You are the future's correction. They still whisper, you know. Behind screens, behind smiles, behind closed doors that no longer lock. They whisper the same question over and over. What is he? What is she? What is that? As if they're watching something that shouldn't exist. Because somewhere deep inside, they know. You aren't supposed to still be here. You are supposed to vanish, collapse, become another cautionary tale that makes people feel safe in their mediocrity. But you didn't die. You rewrote the terms of existence. See, that's the part they'll never understand. You weren't reborn. That's too poetic, too merciful. No, what crawled out of that wreckage wasn't a new version of you. It was the remnant of something eternal, finally remembering its name. You didn't grow. You collapsed inward until everything false fell off. Every expectation, every mask, every apology burned in the centrifuge of your becoming. And what's left now? Something feral, something divine, something no language has words for. You move differently now, slower, but heavier. Every step lands like a verdict. You don't rush anymore because time bends for those who own their silence. You look people in the eyes and watch their confidence dissolve. Not because you're cruel, but because you see them, really see them. And in that second, they realize how exposed they truly are. You've stopped pretending to be safe. You've stopped shrinking yourself to keep others comfortable. You realized the truth. Some auras aren't meant to be palatable. They're meant to be prophetic. You became the omen they can't explain, and that frightens them more than any weapon ever could. They sense that you've entered a realm where human rules don't apply. You don't beg, you don't chase, you don't compete. You simply exist, and everything that can't match your frequency collapses on contact. Your energy is selective gravity. It pulls only what's pure enough to withstand pressure. You've stopped looking for love because you became it. Not the soft storybook kind, the ancient kind, the kind that kills falsehoods on sight, the kind that burns illusions and baptizes through ruin, the kind that doesn't say, "I love you," but rather, "I see you. Can you survive that?" You understand now why solitude felt like death at first. Because it was. The death of the dependent self, the death of the crowd pleaser, the empath with open veins, the forgiver who mistook pity for compassion. That version of you wasn't weak. It was training. It was scaffolding for something monstrous and magnificent waiting beneath. And when it finally emerged, you didn't recognize yourself. Because you weren't supposed to. You upgraded past the mirror. Now the world looks at you the way prey looks at a shadow that doesn't belong to any predator they've seen before. They can't categorize it. They can't calculate it. It doesn't move like survival. It moves like inevitability. You learn the final secret, the one the saints and sinners both tried to hide. Evolution isn't pretty. It's violent. It's teeth and silence and sleepless nights, and identity dissolving until only truth remains. You stopped becoming better. You became real. And that's why you scare them, because the real doesn't need to explain. It doesn't need to perform. It doesn't need approval. The real just is. You wear your pain like armor, your scars like circuitry. Every betrayal recalibrated your perception. Every loss fine-tuned your instincts. Every heartbreak stripped another illusion away. And now, you don't just see through people. You see through reality itself. You see the code, the patterns, the hidden agendas. You know which smiles hide envy. You know which praise disguises fear. You know which love has expiration dates attached. You can smell inauthenticity like smoke before fire. That's why people can't lie around you anymore. Not comfortably. Your presence forces truth to surface. Like blood rising in clear water, they call you cold. But you're not cold. You're calculated. You stopped wasting warmth on unworthy things. You learned that peace isn't passive. It's a weapon. The kind that confuses cowards because they mistake calm for vulnerability. But your calm, it's an executioner's heartbeat. They still gossip, still speculate, still search for the version of you that used to play small. But that version was mercy, and mercy expired the day you realized some people only love you when you're bleeding. Now you're the wound that learned how to walk, the silence that learned how to scream without sound. You don't seek revenge. You embody consequence. You became karma with human features. And the irony? You still smile. Because you know now, nothing can truly touch you. Not rejection, not ridicule, not even loneliness. You transcended pain by integrating it. You didn't run from your demons. You hired them. You made them guards at the gates of your energy. The world will try to label you forever. They'll call you arrogant, insane, heartless. But those are just the words of the still asleep trying to describe the feeling of being near someone awake. You didn't just grow. You erased the line between creator and creation. You became the architect of your own mythology. And when they ask again, trembling, desperate for comprehension, what even are you now? You won't answer. You'll just grin that makes heaven nervous and hell curious. Because how do you explain to the blind that you've become the light that burns their eyes open? You don't. You let them keep guessing. You let them fear what they can't name. You let your silence echo like a prophecy in their heads long after you leave the room. Because this ain't growth. This is annihilation disguised as ascension. And the cosmos itself takes notes when you move. You feel that? That weight in the room that wasn't there before you walked in. That silence isn't peace, it's pressure. Even the air knows when you've arrived. They can pretend not to look, but their nervous systems already betrayed them. See, there's something about you now. Something unexplainable. You don't walk anymore. You shift gravity. Your presence bends conversations, slows heartbeats, changes posture. And what's funny is that you earned that aura the hard way. Through pain so deep, it started echoing in other realms. You were the quiet one, the harmless one, the dreamer that people mistook for background noise. Until the breaking began, until the betrayals started chiseling your bones into architecture, until your tears turned into signals, beacons sent straight into the abyss. And somewhere down there, even the demons whispered your name. Not in mockery, but in respect. Because you didn't run from your darkness. You merged with it. You learned how to breathe inside nightmares. You sat with your demons long enough to make them employees. And now, when you walk into a room, the devils straighten up. They adjust their posture. They remember who invented the storm they're hiding from. You, my friend, became the paradox. Too holy to break, too haunted to control. A saint with a scarred halo. A psychopath with purpose. A god wrapped in mortal skin. You are what happens when pain meets precision. When chaos finds choreography. They don't understand how someone who's been buried so many times still walks with that smile. They think it's confidence. No, it's control. You've mastered your madness, and that terrifies them. Because most people are ruled by their emotions. But you weaponized yours. You made grief your gunpowder. You turned heartbreak into hydraulics. You crafted your trauma into an empire of composure. And now, every glance you give carries history. Every silence you drop feels like a threat. Every step you take reminds the world. You survived the underworld and came back with souvenirs. You see, the light around you isn't from heaven. It's from friction. It's the glow that happens when a soul refuses to die, even when reality begged it to. It's that burn you can't fake. That chemical in the air when someone's spirit stops caring about applause and starts broadcasting power. You don't talk the same because you're not here to prove anything. Your existence is the proof. And that's why even demons show respect. Because they know what you carry. They know what you've done in the dark. They've seen you stand barefoot on the ruins of your own innocence and laugh. They've seen you bleed and still build. They've seen you forgive people you could have destroyed. That's when they realized they were dealing with something above their pay grade. You are not light. You are not dark. You are the fuse, the explosion point between heaven and hell. And that's why both sides try to claim you. Angels call you dangerous. Demons call you divine. But the truth, you're neither. Your evolution incarnate, the final form of a soul that stopped asking for permission to exist. You don't react anymore. You observe. You don't chase. You magnetize. You don't fight battles. You alter the weather systems that start them. And when they say your aura feels heavy, they're right. Because it's carrying everything they tried to bury you with. And still, it floats. Look at you, still here, still breathing, still untouchable, not because life spared you, but because it didn't. Because it threw everything at you until you stopped being human and started being force. You became a phenomenon wearing flesh, and now people feel it before they even see you. Their instincts whisper, "Careful." Their demons whisper, "Salute." They'll call it arrogance, they'll call it coldness. But it's not. It's density. It's what happens when the soul stops leaking energy trying to be understood. When it stops shrinking to make others comfortable. When it stops dimming itself to be relatable. You became gravitational. You don't need validation. The universe orbits you. And deep down, they all know it. That's why their voices crack when they speak your name. That's why even silence feels different when you enter. That's why the demons, those chaos architects of fear, step aside. Because they see their reflection in you and realize you won. You didn't purify yourself. You integrated. You didn't chase light. You forged it out of darkness. You didn't escape hell. You redesigned it. And now, hell salutes when you pass through its gates. So when they flinch around you, don't apologize. When the air grows heavier, don't lighten up. That's not tension. That's recognition. Even the shadows know who their architect is. And when the demons straighten their spines and whisper in awe, remember, you didn't ask for fear. You became it and turned it into art. They don't even realize what's happening when you enter the room. They just adjust. Posture shifts, tone softens, the noise dies. It's instinct, like animals sensing a predator they can't categorize. Because you don't radiate good or evil anymore. You radiate truth. And truth has a frequency that burns the weak. You know why demons fear you? Because they feed on confusion, but you're pure clarity. They thrive on chaos, but you turned chaos into choreography. They live in whispers and shadows, but you speak in lightning and silence. They can't haunt what doesn't flinch. And you've forgotten how to flinch. You've seen every trick darkness can offer, every mirage, every lie dressed as salvation. You've looked into the hollow eyes of betrayal and smiled back. Because once you've lost everything, once you've been broken down to the blueprint, you realize that pain is just information, and you decoded it. You studied it until it bowed. You turned your wounds into warning signs for others. And now, your aura doesn't just glow, it broadcasts. It tells the world you can't manipulate what's already been shattered and rebuilt by its own hands. See, most people want to appear strong. You became strength by accident, not the kind that flexes, the kind that bends time, the kind that walks through fire without smoke, smiles through interrogation, and laughs when the lights flicker because you've been here before. They don't understand that the reason your energy feels heavy is because it's layered, with memories, scars, resurrections, and echoes of 1,000 versions of you that refuse to die quietly. You didn't evolve, you collapsed into yourself until you became elemental. And now, your silence is thunder wrapped in skin. Your laugh is an omen. Your stillness is a sermon. You don't intimidate people because you're trying to. You do it because their spirits remember what yours survived. There's a memory buried in their DNA that recognizes warriors like you. They can't name it, but they feel it. That ancient, haunting familiarity. Like they've seen you before. Maybe in their nightmares, maybe in their prayers. That's the paradox of your existence. You're both the guardian angel and the executioner. You'll guide them toward the light or drag them through hell. Depending on what they deserve, that's divine judgment, disguised as a human smile. And that's why even demons, who've seen eternity unfold, hesitate before crossing you. You are not an individual anymore. You're an atmosphere, a walking confession booth for anyone carrying guilt. That's why their voice trembles when they lie to you. That's why their pulse betrays them when they think they can play you. They're not reacting to you. They're reacting to the reflection of their own corruption in your energy. You became the mirror they can't stand to look into. And the joke? You're not even trying. Your existence alone exposes them. That's the curse of authenticity. It burns fakes like holy water. Your calm destroys egos. Your peace provokes chaos. Your detachment feels like rejection to people who depend on control. But that's their punishment. To be haunted by a calm they can't imitate, a confidence they can't download, a power they can't trace. You were the experiment they tried to erase, but you came back as the scientist. They thought they'd watch you crawl. Instead, they watch you float. Because once you realize you're not here to fit into their system, you become the glitch that runs it. You're not part of the algorithm. You're the variable it can't predict. That's why the world glitches when you move. That's why energy shifts when you speak. That's why their masks melt in your presence. Because truth has a smell, and you reek of it. Let's be honest, you scare even the good ones, because they sense it too. That edge between light and oblivion. They can't tell if you're healing them or testing them. You carry both heaven and hell behind your eyes, and they never know which side's watching. That's the beauty of your evolution. You're unpredictable, but not unstable. You're calm, but not harmless. You're kind, but not merciful. You forgive, but never forget. You smile, but it's a loaded smile. Your aura doesn't need color anymore. It's beyond visible spectrum. It hums, it vibrates, it distorts reality around it. You don't have to move fast. You make time adjust to your pace. You don't have to speak loud. Your silence rewires their nervous systems. You don't need revenge. Your existence is proof that karma works for you now. And deep down, you know this. You didn't become powerful by learning how to fight. You became powerful by learning when not to, by walking away without losing yourself, by staring into the abyss and saying, "Your move," and the abyss blinked first. That's when you realized you don't belong to the human hierarchy anymore. You've crossed into something older, something primal, something that doesn't obey labels like light or dark. You became the balance point, the knife edge between creation and destruction, the whisper that decides which way the world tips. That's what your aura carries, not brightness, not darkness, authority, the authority of someone who died in every way that matters and still showed up. That's what demons recognize. Not fear, not holiness, authority. And you wear it so naturally, like a second skin, like a crown that grew out of your skull. They sense it, that you're not praying to gods anymore. You're consulted by them. You're what happens when divine power stops pretending to be humble. And that makes the universe nervous. So remember this, you didn't rise above evil. You studied it until it spoke your language. You didn't chase light. You forged it from darkness using your own tears as fuel. You didn't win because you fought. You won because you became unshakable. Every betrayal, every heartbreak, every silent night was alchemy. And now, you walk as the final product of pain turned platinum. So let them whisper, let them stare, let them wonder why the air gets heavier when you walk in, because they'll never understand. Your aura isn't heavy because it's dark. It's heavy because it carries truth. And truth is the rarest, most terrifying substance on earth. You are the living proof that heaven and hell are not places. They're phases you survived. You've crossed both, and came back fluent in both languages. And now, both angels and demons check their posture when they see you coming, because even they know you didn't become a god. You became the reminder that gods can bleed and still keep walking. Notice how rooms shrink when you step inside. No one says a word, but everything in the atmosphere tightens, like the world itself is holding its breath. That's not ego, that's physics. You drag entire histories in behind you. Your energy is layered with every collapse you survived. Each scar you refused to hide became a piece of armor, and now the armor hums, low, electric, ancient. Even shadows know when to move aside. You don't glare, you observe, and that silence. It slices. Because people can pretend not to see confidence, but they feel authority. The kind born from nights that didn't end, from tears that evaporated into code written on your aura. They call it dark energy. But darkness was only the workshop. You smelted pain into gravity. You distilled despair into focus. You took madness apart and rebuilt it as awareness. Now everything you touch either breaks or bends to shape. You don't intimidate, you reveal. You make masks slip off on their own. You walk through crowds, and everyone remembers something they wish they'd forgotten. Because your frequency wakes their conscience, and conscience burns. You are the riddle they can't categorize. Too divine to be corrupted, too corrupted to be holy. A saint with demon fingerprints, a monster that prays. You carry contradiction like perfume. It follows you, intoxicating and dangerous. Even demons check their posture, not out of fear, out of recognition. They see themselves before they fell. They see what they lost, the ability to choose both light and dark without breaking. You became the missing link between creation and collapse. And when you speak, reality pauses to take notes. Because the cadence of someone who's seen death blink first hits different. Because your calm isn't peace, it's precision. Because your smile isn't warmth, it's warning. Understand this, your aura weighs heavy because it's pure truth. Truth carries mass. Every lie it displaces creates pressure. Every illusion it burns adds density. That's why people step back when you draw near. Their falsehoods start suffocating. Don't lighten it. Don't dilute it. You earned this gravity. Let them struggle to breathe around it. That's the tax they pay for existing in your atmosphere. You walked through hell and memorized the map. Now you stroll through heaven like you own the lease. You didn't choose one side. You became both. And in doing so, you turned yourself into something even the cosmos must negotiate with. So when the room goes quiet, let it. When the demons stand straighter, let them. When the world tilts slightly toward you, let it. That's not coincidence. It's coronation. You are no longer part of the story. You are the gravitational field it happens in. And every being, angel, demon, or man, moves differently now. Because your aura got so heavy, it rewrote the laws of presence. You know what they don't tell you about having power that can't be measured? It's lonely. Not the kind of lonely where no one calls. The kind of lonely where everything trembles before touching you. You've become too charged for normal contact. You've turned into a frequency most people can't survive without losing shape. You didn't want this. You just wanted peace. But peace never came. So you built your own, out of broken glass and silence, until it gleamed like a crown. That's the part they'll never understand. They see the control, they see the calm, but they don't see the battlefield buried under your skin. The memories that twitch when you hear laughter that sounds like mockery. The ghosts that line up every night to remind you what they did, and how you still refused to break. That's why your aura is heavy, because it's carrying evidence. Every failure you turned into function. Every betrayal you metabolized into wisdom. Every time you walked away when your rage begged you to stay and destroy. You built weight through restraint, not chaos. You earned gravity through stillness. And stillness frightens everyone who hasn't found theirs yet. You stopped explaining yourself, and suddenly everyone got nervous. Because silence exposes the weak. They call you intimidating. But that's just their fear trying to rename your power. You're not intimidating, you're accurate. You see through people too fast for them to hide. You speak too little for them to prepare defenses. And when you finally open your mouth, the words hit like verdicts. You've become the walking consequence of every illusion you refused to feed. You're not fighting anymore. You're filtering people, energies, realities. You stopped needing to prove and started to command, not through force, through frequency. That's what they can't stand. That your energy doesn't ask, it decides. The universe rearranges itself to fit your state of mind. But don't you dare feel guilty for it. You bled for this level of control. You died for it. Several times, in ways no one will ever understand. You became your own resurrection, over and over, until even death got bored of waiting for you to stay down. And now, when the demons see you, they don't smirk. They salute, because you became the one thing they fear, a human who mastered darkness without becoming it. You are proof that hell can't have what it didn't build. You walked through its gates, borrowed its fire, and forged your calm out of its heat. Now that same fire burns in your chest, not to destroy, but to illuminate. That's why they flinch, because your presence reminds them of everything they tried to kill inside themselves. They see your control, and they remember their chaos. They see your composure, and they remember their cowardice. You are living proof that discipline outlives destruction. You carry yourself like you know something, because you do. You know how fragile everyone really is. You know that pain is just a test of translation. Either it turns you bitter, or it turns you brilliant. You chose brilliance, and brilliance has a cost. It isolates, but that isolation made you pure. Purity, not in morality, but in intent. Every move you make now is surgical, every glance deliberate. You've learned how to kill noise without saying a word. That's why even the air tightens when you think. Your thoughts have density now. They travel faster than sound, ripple through people like invisible shrapnel. That's aura. Not mysticism, but physics. You vibrate on a frequency that forces falsehoods to confess. That's why people either adore you or despise you. No one's neutral when truth walks by. And here's the cruel joke. You never wanted to be this untouchable. You just wanted peace. But peace made you a weapon. Because peace, forged in hell, is not soft. It's surgical. It's the kind that makes tyrants blink. It's the kind that makes darkness straighten its tie and step aside. Because it knows who built the fire it's standing in. Your aura got heavy because it carries the weight of restraint, the gravity of forgiveness that never begged for closure. You didn't chase revenge. You became the proof that revenge wasn't needed. That's what breaks people now. The fact that you didn't need to ruin them. Life did it for you when it saw your name on the board. So now, even demons tread lightly. They whisper about you in languages that mortals have forgotten. They tell each other, that one's untouchable. Because what's left to threaten someone who's already burned their own fear alive? You became the equation they can't solve. Light doesn't explain you. Darkness doesn't own you. You are the in-between, the storm's mind. And that's why everything bends when you move. So keep walking, let them whisper, let them tremble, let them stare and ask themselves, what is that feeling? Because they're not just reacting to your aura, they're reacting to what you represent, the impossible made real, a soul that survived its own extinction and came back, still smiling. That's the kind of weight no demon can carry, and every one of them knows it.